Hey everyone, I hope I'm live, and if not, then please tell me. Well, I don't know how you tell me. Probably by chatting in on YouTube. Thanks again for being here and watching me either live or later through the recording. This is Filip H, and I'm going to build, and I am building a game that is text-based but also simulation-based. So it's what I call rendering into text. Like things are happening that are more involved than a simple, integer counting. Like there's a simulation going on, but instead of showing that simulation in 3D or 2D graphics, I show the text, right? So just to get you back into the idea, what I recommend, if you're watching live, you can go and chat WTF ? And that's how you get to like I have a bot set up that will tell you like what other things to ask and stuff like that. There's some links and all that. So that's cool. All right, so today, let's see if this works. Does it? Hopefully. Yeah, so today, this does not make any sense. Oh, so last time it didn't happen because of family stuff, but the first time that we saw each other, we were doing Necromancy, and so I have actually finished that work. I mean, I haven't finished it, but I definitely finished the things that we started in the first episode, and so I can show you how that plays out. Yeah, I had some internet issues again. So like I can play the game again. The actual player will be playing something like this that you see here, but when I'm doing stuff like that, when I'm just developing, I have this. So I can go like, okay, let's playtest with an orc and a goblin, and you can see one of them, the orc, tries to ruin my stance with a fainted slash. So I'll be like standing ground, and then the goblin casts a spear at me, which is great because I can cheat here. I have like God mode, right? Because this is development mode, so I can catch the spear and then immediately stab his torso. And as you can see, I succeed because I'm hitting S here, like success, and so I kill him. Now the orc is again trying to ruin my stance. I will stand my ground. And then see, I have if I look at the environment and I look at the goblin, I can turn him undead, which goes right. And you can see that this is partly what we did last time. I raise my hands over the goblin and he opens his eyes. He stands up and springs at the orc immediately. Wow. The orc shifts the sword behind the goblin. The goblin leaps right into it. The sword goes right through his stomach and he goes down. He stops moving. So I raised the goblin and he just like jumped at an orc and then immediately died. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that I like to enable, and I can again turn him undead, and let's do that. I will turn him undead again, and the orc swings at the goblin's neck. The goblin sidesteps it. The orc loses balance. The goblin lunges at the orc's neck, ready to gnaw. The orc dodges it. I can also I cannot pronounce. Sorry. The goblin sways next to the orc. Cool. So we have both of them. I can like stab the orc's eye. I thrust the spear. The orc jumps backwards, but not fast enough. I knew that would happen because again I cheated, and this is a success. And the goblin launches himself and sinks his teeth in the orc's torso. The orc screams in pain. All right. I can equip the sword that I had at the start. I replace the spear behind my back and draw the sword. The goblin lunges and bites into the orc's left arm. The orc grunts in pain. Poor orc. All right, and now I can just slash his neck. He's like really wore down. He makes he's one of his eyes is out. He was bitten by an undead goblin in his torso, and now I slash his neck, and he's dead. And now I have my friend goblin. All right, so that's what I have with necromancy. I can turn people undead. This is actually more work this was actually more work, as you probably saw in the first episode, than I thought it would be, because suddenly we have to have cases for things like, oh, is he actually alive or is he undead, or do we should an undead goblin scream when we poke out his eye? I think not, so I changed that, and so there are little things that make it a little more believable, but it's not 100%. And but I think this is one of the things that like, let it out there, try to play with it, and kind of keep the bugs until we see, oh, this is an actual, like, this bug is actually fun, and like, obviously not make it not the bug, but like keep that functionality there, right? So the fact that like I can turn someone undead 2 times in a row, I think I'll keep it. Okay, so okay. And so what are we going to do next, right? So right now, one of the things that's outstanding for the orc, I'm sorry, for necromancy, is I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and that never really works for me. So one of the things is that the undead don't have a good way to just like attack when you're in a pretty good position. So like if you have an undead and then the orc is like in his combat stance, then the undead cannot really touch him, and so they kind of like stand around, or they do crazy things like jump at them and kind of get killed. So so I was thinking that I would create a thing that's more like just like swinging their head, and more about stance and less threatening, but something that lets them survive the first few rounds of combat. So that's why I have the idea of like undead can swing hands around and kind of go at you and try to grapple you, or like pull you to the ground and all that. But I'm not going to do that yet, because again, I want to play around with the kind of the half-baked necromancy first, and I don't want to like make it perfect and then realize this is terrible. So I thought I would switch gears and do something else. And I guess what I want to do is I show you how I pick features to build next. And so if I go like that, oh hey Manthos, yeah, I saw. Sorry, I don't check chat as often as I should. So yeah, thanks for the good luck. And blind necros can still raise the undead. True. It is actually that was a point of contention last time when we were thinking about like, should a blind necromancer be able to raise undead, and my position was they shouldn't. They should see the corpse. Vanathos and 72% of other people in the world think that's like they should. Where is it? Where's my profile? Where is it? Wow. Yeah, 77% actually. I asked about it, and then when I realized that I'm wrong, I just made this change, and as you can see, I had to change the pros a little bit because you can't like, you can't raise your hands over something that you don't see, I think. Yeah, I removed this check of anatomy, like if they're blind or not. Anyway, so back to my process. All right, so here's the thing. Anything can go into a game. Like, game development is weird and awesome in that, like, you can basically come up with anything, and that can work. And there are so many features that you would want, and it's really fun to think about all the features. And as you can see, I have these features here, but this is just like tip of the iceberg. I have a whole Trello. Like in the icebox, I have something like 300 different things that I think should be either features or something like that, right? And so the question becomes, do I want to like the question becomes like, what do I want to work on? What makes it into the game and what doesn't make it into the game? And there's a really good game developers conference talk by the creator of RimWorld, which is a game that I love, and he says, I can't remember his name, and he says it's not about like what is the coolest feature you can add to your game. You should be asking what is the feature with the coolest coolness versus cost ratio, right? So like, yeah, I can spend a year trying to make my game I don't know, like be a strategy slash RPG, right? And that would be super cool, but I would also spend a year. Or I can do things like, maybe, yeah, I want necromancy, right? And that is a few days. In my case, I don't work on this 100% time, so that still means weeks, but it's something that I can have in weeks, and I can try it and then either keep it or not. So I like that idea of like coolness to cost ratio, and that's why I have this. I don't know if you see it. Did you see it? I have this, which is like a simple spreadsheet that just says, okay, I have a name of some of the things that I could be working on. What do I think is the cost in days in doing this? What is the coolness, which is completely subjective and changes all the time. So I can like change this, right, and make at some point I can be like, well, this is actually not 8 coolness, this is like 7 coolness, and then I just have a ratio of that, and that's it. And then obviously I know that some things are ship necessary. And then I have a way to kind of bubble up the things that I want to work on right now. But below that, this is like purely just the ratio, right? So this is like where I sort it. But this is the ratio where I'm like, okay, so it would be cool and very easy to do to just like, hit someone. Actually, I don't think it's that cool anymore. But see the like task selection is like probably the number one thing to worry about, and especially with something that takes that much of a time, you want to make sure that you're working on the right thing. So that's what I do. Anyway. So I know that you want, like, this game is all about like combat in groups, And it is way more interesting, as you just saw, that when you have more than two enemies, or like, you know, it's not just 1-to-1, but it's 2-to-1, then it just like creates these fascinating little stories. And so I know from the start that I want to be able to hire NPCs and be able to like go with them. On the other hand, I can be like Ultima, where you can hire like 6-7 NPCs and just like go with like this bunch of people around, and just like, you know, attack everyone. And this is because the game is rendered in text, and in text it gets really weird if you have 6 characters at the same time, right? Plus some monsters. It makes sense in a video game where like you can see like, oh, 6 icons and 5 other icons, and then they exchange like fireballs, wherever I can see that. But if it's like, well, John is on the attack, and someone else that I don't know their name is like trying to figure out where their dagger is. Like, it's just not. It's too complex, and the text would get really long. So I need to do something clever with the NPC hiring. Basically, I probably need a limit of maybe even just one NPC that can come to with you, and then you can like say thank you, and then hire another one, or they can die, right? So anyway, and this means that I need some way for actors to be in a party. And right now, what I do is very simple. It's like, actually, I can show you. So you can see this, right? Yeah. So actor has following. Yeah. So this is a nullable field for any actor. An actor is any entity that is like a thinking entity that can act on the world. So the actor can be following someone around. So that this is the only way that we currently do any party stuff. So when I say, and I do this in like scripts, when I say like, and now this person is following probably the player actor, so the player ID, and then the game kind of figures out, oh, who's in the party with the player, I should move them with them, and so on. That's basically most of it. And then obviously if they join a fight, then they will join together. But that's kind of limiting, I think, because you want to be, well, actually, do I want to complicate things just because I can? I could be saying something like, I could have like a party capability. That's what I was thinking about. Like, something that says, hey, is this person following the is he or she leading? Are they in the party just for some time, or will they are they there forever? Yeah, I think now that I think of it, maybe I actually don't want to. I don't want to do this. Huh. Okay, good. That's also good. I probably just saved myself quite a lot of work. So this is obviously like, it's kind of a hack. Like, we have like a idea of who we're following, but it works, and it works for our purposes. So what I can actually work on, instead of doing some like party capability, I can do the actual hiring process, which would be which would be like an action. Maybe not. Maybe I can just have like a talk to NPC. So a talk to NPC, each NPC would have some things to say to the player. Let's just keep it simple. So they could be just, yeah. Okay. So we want an action. Let me doodle on this. So what we actually want to implement is that I come to a room. I don't know why I'm writing this, but I guess it will help. I start talking to an NPC who is high rebel, I guess. And then there's probably like a custom field or whatever that says like what they should say. Damn, this is hard. What should they say? Right, no. Maybe it's just like they will show interest in the conversation. So we need some way to kind of define for each actor like what are the different ways they say to you when you're talking to them. And then we could script all of this by hand. Like we could do like we could do all of this as a action and then that's again I'm getting ideas on what to not do, which probably isn't very exciting for you people, but it's very exciting for me because not doing some work is pretty good. Anyway, I'll this is basically like a user journey, I guess, or player journey. So I come to a room, I start talking to an NPC, and they there's some kind of conversation going on. So conversation, I can ask questions, which is basically which is just like action that that will give me some info. For now, I think that's all we need. Like we don't need like a meta game of Mass Effect kind of where you have to select how friendly or unfriendly you are to an NPC. I think that's fine. So they will show interest in the conversation, and then they will. So one of these things could be something like, "Would you join me?" And maybe they say, "Yeah." And then after that, we could have another like action, which is like hire, which just says something like describes the process of hiring, something like, "Oh, I talked to the person and they are willing to go," and they say, "Yeah, let me grab my sword," and then assigns following actor ID. Cool. So and now, okay, we will want something like 3-4 different NPCs for like a short game, and obviously much more if we're going to do a long game. But we don't want like in a short game we don't want 50 different NPCs. So I'm considering just like making custom actions for each of these things. Conversation and that means that I don't need to write um, a whole system of these. I could just be well, maybe it would be helpful to be like to have like higher action, which checks if all prerequisites are there. So like things like I first have to talk to him or her to talk to her. And then a higher action would also make sure some normal like global prerequisites like global cannot have party of X more than N. Right. All right, let's do this in practice. I think this is a good start. So let's talk about my little DSL for this game. So obviously this is a game where you have a simulation for when you're fighting, and you have a kind of simulation when you're like walking through rooms and stuff like that. But we also need a way to add custom text, almost like cutscenes and scripting, and just basically like adding the content, right? So the writer's content. And for that, I looked back and forth in many different things to like how to do this. And basically, I realized that I kind of have to do my own thing, because many of the like DSLs are ways to define written content for a game are meant to be for like shorter amounts of text, and they are very like either like XML based, or they're not very friendly for like a normal writer. And I sometimes want a normal writer to have a look at this and co-author with me and so on. So so I have this very very simple way of creating these. Like for example, I have a more normal room is like here. It has an identifier and it has some flags, and then there's a first description, which basically is what you get when you first come to this place, and then a description, and then there are more fields like that. But as you can see, like it's very like this is the only like the way you defined a description, for example, is you just like say first description and then colon in all capitals, and that's it, right? And so far it's worked for me really really well. And then like in this case, this is a room, so it needs some approaches. I've learned that like in normal programming of computer games, you would normally do exits, right? Like it makes more sense to say, oh, this is a room like a village here, and then that room has exits to other rooms, right? That's the more intuitive approach. But then I realized that when I'm actually writing, I'm not writing the exit, I'm writing the approach to that other room. So that's why I have like, if you approach this village from this fight, this is the command that we see that this will probably go away, and we don't actually describe the approach because we know that this is gonna happen. If you approach this same thing from a skirmish with the goblins, you like we say this, you sneak through the bushes, right? And actually maybe I just do well, and so this is where we are gonna try, and yeah, and you can also do things like you can add code, and this all gets taken by my builder script, and it gets transformed into like Dart code, so I can step through it and everything, right? So this is just like the source material, but all of these things will become actual code. All right, so what I want to do is I thought like in the village there would be a person to talk to, so let's start with that. There will be a person. Yeah. So do I need to add like an NPC here in the room description, or should I just have an NPC? Oh, maybe I should have an NPC thing. Like an actor. Huh. Yeah, I probably need something like an NPC component to actors. And then basically what the game does is it goes through, or at least like a talk component. Huh. Yeah. So it goes through the actors and it says right. Again, I'm trying to figure out because like in the prototype, what I did was very kind of hacky. I was basically like an action. I was defining actions, and these actions were always like, hey, if you're in the same room with this person, and that room is kind of like an idle room where we can talk, then you can use this action, and that just shows you some text. But if you want to, and I'm debating again if I want to. This is not very very cool stream. I'm sorry, people. So what would like or like talk component? It would have to have some NPC component. Yeah, I think I like it. There will be an NPC component, and then whenever we are in any room and it's idle, we would go through. There would be a different kind of action that would go through all these and see would they. Yeah, that is probably what we'll do in the end. Okay, so yeah, we would basically every actor would have an NPC component. It could be nullable or something no op for monsters, for example, and for probably for the undead, and you would be able to communicate and to kind of change their state. So you would say like anyone who is following you, you could be like stop following me, or like I release you from my service. Anyone who has any kind of things to talk to you would you would be able to talk to them. And I wonder if the component itself has, so this would be like higher on higher, and then the does the component have answers in it? So the question is, do we want to allow the player, I mean, should the actor when they are created have their conversation already in them, or as text or as callback? Callbacks are harder because they are not serializable. They're harder to serialize, but I've done this before, so in this game, so it should be fine. Yeah. And so this already has is following actor ID in it, and then we can add other things to this, like yeah, faction alignment. Well, actors have faction alignment, but what else? What else do we want to do with NPCs? Physically modifying NPC. NPCs wandering around. We could in NPC component we could have like allowed rooms, so that our NPCs would just not wander everywhere. All right. Yeah, I think we're building an NPC component, and that will allow us to hire NPCs as well. Cool. Yeah. All right. No second thoughts. Let's go. So an actor has an NPC component, and I like them to not be nullable, and so let's do a new file, NPC uh, NPC Capability. I like to like basically, if you're familiar with something called ECS in game development programming, and of course this is not gonna work. I don't know what's happening with my internet connection when I'm streaming. Anyway, there's this thing called ECS, Entity Component System, and that's a game programming paradigm that is very very useful, especially for like video games, which is most of them, where you have bunch of objects that everything can interact with everything else, and you have systems and so on. This is less interesting for me because I can't be like, the entity component system is just like goes through all the objects and all the systems and applies all the systems to all the objects with their components, and then that's one frame, and then it renders the new state of the world the next frame on the screen, right? Which is what video games do, and then there's this like movement everywhere and so on. I am, because this is a text-based game, I'm more interested in the processes that happen. So I can't just be like, that's what old text games did, and some of the like roguelikes do it today, even, and that's basically like something like orc is standing, and orc holds a weapon, and something, and then there's an action, and then there's another description, which is basically orc is killed. There is a weapon on the ground, so like basically there's no description of the action, there's only description of the state, which follows closely to normal game development programming, where you don't need to describe to the user what happened between two frames. You just show one frame, second frame, and they will see, oh, this is moving. That's a long way of saying ECS is not for me. Like, I can't do ECS all the time, but I can borrow some of the principles, and one of them is that the different objects in your game should have much less kind of basically composition over inheritance, right? So like you shouldn't have huge class hierarchies, and instead have components, and these components can be null, or like they can basically not be there, and then it gives you a nice kind of systemic thing for doing these, because suddenly, like, even things that you wouldn't consider before are now possible. So like a sword can be an NPC now, because you say, hey, this is like a sword with their own thinking. They just don't have a way of like going away from you, but maybe they have a way of talking to you. So you can have a talking sword, and the talking sword can be like, I hate this, I don't want to be in your party. And they can do anything about it. Anyway, so that's why I call it a capability, because it is like a component. Dot. Okay, and this needs to be serializable. So let's just steal everything from here. Right. NPC Capability. Thanks, Vanathos. Vanathos is telling me that it's good to see people stumble upon issues and thinking out loud. So I don't feel that bad about wasting your time just talking to myself about stuff and not really programming. But this is programming, right? Thinking out loud is programming. Serializer. Yeah, this is unfortunately how okay. There's some boilerplate involved if you want something to be serialized, but thankfully okay, so we now have this. So this is the start of a class, and as you can see, we have generated things that like do the serialization. Right now, there's no serialization really needed, but we should probably add it to serializers around somewhere around. Oh. Yeah, NPC MN. Yep. And actor has it, right? Actor. So deprecate it so that we don't forget. And NPC Capability. Just NPC. So the component that takes care of I don't know, can you hear all the commotion? I hope not. There's like a garbage truck and a plane, but well, if you can hear it, at least you have my ambience. If it's distracting, then tell me and I'll close everything here. All right, so the component that takes care of NPC systems that includes data related to NPC systems, like hiring an NPC, talking to them, and so on. Okay, sort. Oh, I didn't sort before. What? Oh, a getter, yes. So this is something I love about this particular package. Morgan's build value is that it just tells you exactly what you've done wrong. It's not like something is wrong. You just basically get told. So this is a getter now. All right. Hopefully. Oh wow, yeah, it's done. So now we have that. Also, I should probably, okay. Yeah. I hate it when I kind of, you know what? Where's NPC again? Just to make my Git repo better, I am going to remove the deprecated message as well. So I sort you can auto sort things in Dart, and I did that, and I want to do this separately from what I'm adding now because I don't want things to be like that. So okay, so sort members, and so now this change is way better because now I can be like here and following actor ID is deprecated, and we do this. Yes, okay. Yeah, this is much better. So we have this. But NPC doesn't have anything in it yet. So let's start with something that we already know. So in get following actor ID. That's easy. I think we can do things like bool following actor ID, and that's just gonna get rewritten to the right thing, right? No? I thought that's what, how do you do that? Okay, I can go to the internet. So there's a way to just basically say what you want without doing these terrible things here. Right here I'm basically like copy pasting everything, and I think there's a better way to do this. And I thought that I've already used it somewhere. No? Maybe not. Where could this be? One of the newer ones? Yeah, that's what I meant. Factory. How is this not? Yeah, hey. Oh. I have a boo there. I have a question here, but this is stupid. I just said bool instead of int. Now it works. Okay. Alright, Vanathos has a question. In a project that has been going for so long, deprecate is used just for future reference, or will you go back and change all the places where... Yeah. For me, deprecation is like almost like a to-do mark. I don't have any deprecation anywhere. So like whenever there's anything deprecation, before I even commit I will get rid of it. So that is like it's nice because now I go to dart analysis and I see where these things are kind of used, and that's what I'm gonna fix. I think I'll fix it now. So basically, um, like this, right? Why is it? Oh yeah. Wait a minute. That's not all where. Okay, you know what? Oh yeah, this is just the getter. So I'll just need to basically remove this. Yeah. And now I'll get a bunch of more. Yeah, so I don't care about this. Yeah. Okay. What? Right, so yeah, I'll basically saying this, and I should probably say that this is nullable, because it is nullable. But I'm still a little like, why is no one? Oh, maybe that was really the only place. Get party off. Are we using it a lot? Right. Okay. All right. So we have this. We have the NPC. What did I had a thing here. Yeah, so hire and hire. Right, okay. So let's have a hireable actor somewhere. Okay. Yeah, at some point we also want to make it a little easier, but I have this thing where I'm like basically saying where everyone is. So Tamara is here, right? And so I can have another NPC, and I will put them in the village, which I call the bleeds, and then how are we setting up Tamara then? Oh, okay. Oh, let's do this. So we have think let me check. I think I had a oh man, I have to check on my phone, I guess. Sorry. I had a name for the person who was supposed to be in the village, and I don't want to just come up with a new name. So hopefully this will load at some point. Oop. Wow, my internet connection is like, you know what? You can stream, but you know, you can't do anything else. I'm a little worried there was like a 10 minutes nothing between 10:30 and 10:40. Did people see me, or I'm looking at my like YouTube thing here, and it's oh no, it was that was a glitch. Okay, people actually saw me. Cool. 5 viewers. Come on, people, this is awesome. Thank you, Robert. Yes. Thank you. All right, I have my thing here, and brother deserves brother. Okay, V's. That's terrible name. But I will use it, and then I can change it, but I want to have the same thing. So this will be usually, do I need to okay, const int v's id is something terrible, and so name is proper noun, it's a he, and he is in the Bleeds, which is a room called Bleeds Main. Alright, let's just do that. And he's not following anyone, and he has a dagger, a rock, a dagger. All right. Should he have a shield? Yeah. Yeah, shield is a weapon here. Yeah. Also, this should be a different, and weapon type shield. Cool. So we have this actor, and we'll just add him here. If you wonder what edgehead is, it's like it's my kind of internal name for this project, for this particular game. Gamebook is the project of the whole like system, and edgehead is this kind of game that I'm building on top of it, because building a system without a game is terrible. All right. Yeah. Is this actually used anywhere? It's not. I love deleting stuff. What was this? Iron is actually used, I think. Iron is yeah. We want to like okay. Yeah, this sounds good. So we have a person in the police who is an NPC, and now like nothing will happen, I think, but we could be. We could just assume. We just say, you know what? This NPC is hireable. Should we do that? NPC Capability. Oh, when we have someone, they're probably not like when someone is following someone else, then they're probably not hireable. Yeah, let's keep it that. Like it might work even with that, but that's fine. So what I'm getting at is that we need an action that is directed at people who are not in your party and are hireable. Which like it's at first everyone will be hireable. Actually, no, not everyone. So this will not be nullable, and it's not. It's going to be bool get is hireable, and okay, and then bool is hireable. No usage, really? Oh, by the way, I should probably run tests sometimes. So this is gonna fail, I hope. What's wrong with hireable? Is hireable a word? Hireable? Yeah, hireable is fine. Okay. Yes, hireable is nullable. So why doesn't it scream at me? Oh yeah, because I should say this is required. Required. I don't need to, but and now, excuse me. Why isn't not screaming at me that I? Oh. Right. Because I'm not actually using this. So actor. See, I'm using NPC Capability Builder, and I should be using NPC Capability to Builder. And now it streams at me. Good. So is hireable is hireable, and following maybe it's following. Yeah, I don't love how it's all kind of we're kind of repeating ourselves here, but at some point I will probably split it up and be so you can just like give me the NPC capability, because I expect some of like you could have an NPC capability dot monster which is basically it's not hireable and it's not following any actor ID, unless it is. Anyway, is hireable. Bool is hireable. Cool. Cool. Wait, I should be yes. The way Vanathos, I think that the way you're using build value to generate code is cool. Might be useful in other places. Yeah, absolutely. So build value is super cool thing that I think it's not super well documented, but if you search for David Morgan's articles on Medium about how to use build value, I think you'll find a lot of cool, like it's probably better documentation than what you find on the actual package. To me, it was more useful. So yeah, and I think as Dart develops, like Dart gets extension methods pretty soon, and that means that some of these source generation things will be much easier to use. Hopefully, we won't have to do things like this, like this. I'm a big believer in source generation. It's much better than some kind of like dynamic magic. This, I know exactly what's going on here. I can go through this. I can step through this, and it's fast. So cool. So now I can say who's hireable, who's not, and most people should not be hireable. Let me make sure that that's true. So most people should be false. But V's is totally hireable, isn't he? Is hireable true? Right. Right, so we now have to do we now have to make the action. It's going to be an action in here. Yeah, room roaming action. So in rooms we can slay monsters. Okay. We can take approach. Right. And that's it. So we create a new action that will probably be a lot closer to this than anything else. Hire NPC. Let's do this. So it's not an it's an other actor action, and now I need to figure out. Yeah, so actors were right. So this takes all the actors. Okay. What? Enemy target action. Huh. I see a bug here, don't I? So we're basically we're getting all the actors in the world. Oh no. Well, here we're taking all the actors in the situation. And other actor action is, yeah, also getting, okay, good. So takes all the actors in the situation, which in our case is in room roaming. Let's hopefully room roaming situation. What does it give us as actors? Actions. Oh, it just gives us the player because only he is acting. Yeah, so get actors actually tells you get actors for situation by design, and it's, I think it's a good design, is telling you this are the actors, as in these are the people who should be acting at this point. And right now in room roaming situation, only the actor is actually acting. Only, I mean, the player is actually acting anything. So we could just say, yeah, like everyone in the room gets to act. And then we need probably, yeah, does it make sense if we come somewhere, then people in that room, and like I say something, for example, then the people in that room might be doing some other thing. So like I say something or I ask someone about something, and then a different actor will just like leave, which, I mean, makes sense, but I wonder if we want to allow that. It's possible that we want the room roaming situation to be just like only like actor and maybe another virtual actor, like a director, can act on this. And so, yeah, so not to complicate things right now, I think we just we have to make a different, we have to make this differently. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna extend other actor action base instead of this. and I'll create my own. So other actor action base. What is this? Oh, and this is called Hire NPC. Hire NPC action. Generate objects, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. And we are gonna, that's for actors. Yes. Okay, now I understand. So this needs actor. This needs actor. Yeah, also unimplemented everywhere. Ugh, actor. Actor. Okay, yeah. Actor. Also, ugh. La la la. We don't need this. We don't need any of this. Unimplemented role reason template. Might want to mention the target in the output. To make this easier, this class will automatically consider the role reason given a storyline template. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it's not rerollable, right? Yeah. So just ignore this. Okay, so let's do. Does it though? It doesn't. Okay. Command prompt template would be object hire. Alright, so is it aggressive? No. Is it implicit? No. Does it have a help message? Not yet. Is it proactive? Yes. Class name is correct. It's not reliable. We could have a failure in hiring NPCs, but that would be just terrible. So apply failure keeps being unimplemented, and then apply success, and then generate objects. Okay, so for generate objects, we gonna assume so roaming. So final current room is get room roaming context world. actually current room name. Are there more things? Probably not. Current room name. Right, and then get party. No. Get party. So the actors returns actors who are in the same room as the performing actor and are not in his party. Yeah. I mean, I can filter it here, or I can filter it in this applicability, but here it makes sense because we're very, so yeah, so we have a current room, and then we basically just ask the world for all the actors. So final w is context world. This is faster, and w where actors where so where an actor is animated and active, and his current room name equals current room. Yeah, I guess if maybe we should just be saying that the current room is the yeah, current room name is current room, and then a NPC is hireable, and right, current party is context actor get party of what's the, so that's current actor simulation world. Final sim is context simulation. Right, current party. So, and current party contains a does it give us actors? Yeah. So these are the actors. Okay, so these are actors that are alive or animated. They are in the room where we are right now, and they are hireable, and they are not currently in the player's party. So basically, that's exactly what we want. Right? Yes. All right. So we generate objects. Yeah, we don't need that. Success chances, so sure, and then is applicable is basically true. and then apply success. So actor hires. No. This should actually be not actor, but what's the hiree? Is it hiree? Hiree? Is it a word? The person who we are hiring. NPC. No, it's not. NPC. All right. So final A is context actor. NPC name. All right. This is still unimplemented, just so you know. Context. This is also alt G. No. NPC. All right. So now all we want to do is speak something really simple like storyline context. So NPC report as subject. Nodes and also stands next to object, an object being the actor who is hiring, and then the actual change will be final W is the outward world. Update actor by ID. That would be NPC ID and NPC following actor ID is AID, right? Well, that's it. That seems weird. Let's see. First of all, oh yeah, maybe we should probably add this somewhere. Also, we don't need that. Oh wow, that's even now it's not working. Why is it here? All right, singleton. All right, let's do this. What? All right. Oh, okay. So first one is pretty shows how we're not really doing our job in these in here, where we're like current weapon. The weapon will other current okay items. This does not anything like wordable. Okay. A list of all weapons can be in a hand. This is a list because we want to. Right. Now I wonder. Right, we need to add the shield to items, I guess. Is that it? Okay, no. Auto 282. Oh, we have a shields. Damn. Put shields in shields. Yes, okay. So we had a bug here that I'm going to quickly fix. Shields. At all. If current shield is a null, wait, there's a, isn't there a, then it would be the current shield. Two, two, two. Okay, let's increase this. This is like just Dart stuff that landed pretty quite recently, and so we just need to make sure that 222 is easy. Yeah, okay, dependencies. I think though there's a better way to do this. But is it more readable? I'll do the same here. Right, so this should take care of that. What's the time? Oh, 20 minutes to... I'll probably maybe do this for a longer time. Okay, well, oh. Oh yeah, the is hireable is not in the that's fine. It's fine for now. Well, we'll get to that. Okay. Let's see. So this should work. We can play this. I'm just gonna quickly stab. Okay, so wait. This is terrible. So I okay. So this is the start of like the new chapter of this. Like basically, this is what you would be playing when this game comes out. And it starts with a fight, which is kind of like this tutorial fight where you're fighting next to Tamara, which is like who's like your guard, and it's supposed to be a tutorial, but it looks like Tamara launches the goblin and he moves the rusty sword between himself and her. She launches. So she chose to just like jump on him, and he just kills her. Okay, that's funny. All right, so I kill him, and then I say, "Sorry, Tamara." I kneel next to her. Blah blah blah. I can go towards the pyramid, and I can hire V's. Yes. Okay. So this is the kind of scripted text. Like this is just exactly what we have defined over here. I finally see blah blah blah. And I have ways to travel, and I can hire V's. Let's try it. V's nods and stands next to me. Okay. And now we can go west to join a fight and see if V's is gonna help. Lone goblin with a spear. We're gonna stand ground. Nope. Okay, I expose my arm. I can wait. This means that he's probably okay. So so there's a dagger and a rock. Why is there a dagger? Why is there a dagger? That's weird. What? I can equip the sword. There was the sword. Oh, I have two swords. This is a bug. We shouldn't do this. Tries to kick my feet from under me. Slash the leg. I step around the foot and slash the goblin. The goblin falls to the ground. What's happening with these? Hello? Damn. Beast is not following me. Okay. Thankfully we can for the next plan. We can do this. Okay, so what's happening here? Excuse me, I want more than one. Right, so initial world actors, a set of actors here. And one of these should be, so this is Tamara, and this one is probably, oh, Goblin. This one is a Goblin. Wow, this is like, ugh. V's. And he's following me. Where is he? Goblin skirmish. Same as I. I ran a Goblin skirmish. Why? Why doesn't he get a chance to do all right. So let's do it again, and this time I am going to where's the slay monsters thing? Slay monsters. This should take oh, is it because he's a different team than I? Should I change his team? All right, time to know for sure. So let's do this. Yeah. Stab. Okay, I hire these, and now I go west. What? Oh, I don't actually. What? So this is a goblin skirmish patrol, I'm guessing. Yeah. Slay monsters, right? That is interesting. So I'm pretty sure that slay monsters will get the fight generator. So why is this not firing? Did I not? I'm an idiot. Howard. Okay, this should be. I just I wasn't connected to the thing, so I am going here. I hire these, and now I should be able to block. Yeah. All right. So who are my friends? Oh, friends is iterable. Okay. I'm guessing I need to go to the generate test fight with goblin. So party is still an iterable. Goblin is added. Now, okay. Random. Oh, because I have that. Oh, that's such a stupid thing. So I was being lazy before, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to, because there's a place in the kind of the stop of the game. There's a place where I just want to fight one goblin. I was like, okay, let's just use the test fight with goblin class function that creates a simple fight with one-on-one with a goblin, and so I just put it there. But as I see now, we're saying basically we only get the player, we don't get anyone else, because this was supposed to be a test fight with just one-on-one. Oh, okay. So well, we debugged it, we found the bug. Cool. So I think writer generate start fight, is it? Yeah, so generate, I guess, goblin skirmish would be a thing. What did I just do? The fight west of the bleeds. Generate bleeds goblin patrol. Or skirmish. Blah blah blah. Yep. With the spear. That also explains why there's a rock and a dagger. You're right. Yeah, let's do spear here. So average dexterity, spear. It's a he. Is it? Yeah. It's a goblin. Right. Okay. And then really, we don't need to recover. And then fight situation. And let's not do anything here yet. So that will be generate bleeds goblin skirmish, and we would put it here. Patrol. Okay. Skirmish patrol. Alright, that makes more sense now. Yep, that makes a lot more sense. So we should be now able, hopefully, to go to there to kill the right Tamara. Tamara went off, so this is now in our party, and I'm gonna go west. The goblin thrust at my torso, and I'm like, no you don't. And I stand off. And why isn't I wait? Why isn't V's fighting? What is going on? Initial roll. Yeah. What? See, so now I didn't check this one. There was like a huge red thing here that said, "Hey, I'm not. I didn't rebuild. You should restart." And so the change I made did not make it into the actual game. So again, and I should probably make some quicker way to get there. And I just kill him, go Harvey's, go west, tries to run my stance, stand ground, yeah. Oh, V's thrust at the goblin's torso. The goblin leaps out of reach. V's dagger slashes empty air. Why is Tamara with me? And he isn't full. He returns his footing, throws his spear, and then she tries to dodge but doesn't succeed. The goblin busts through the right eye and she yells in pain. She briefly holds her hand over the wound and growls. It's cool. All right, I like that. I want to faint and see what else happens. So Tamara should not be here now. Tamara should have left. The feint is successful. What is V's doing? She's now blind. Oh, Tamara is now blind. V's thrusts at the goblins. The goblin dodges it. V's loses balance because the goblin thrusts the spear at V's. V's dodges it. The goblin loses balance. Slash! His neck! No. I swing at the goblin's neck. The goblin dodges it. I lose balance because of that. The goblin thrusts. I need to work on the, rendering of the text so that it's more fun to read. V's jumps back. The goblin spear slashes empty air. V's launches himself at the goblin, and the goblin tries to shift the spear between himself and V's, but he's out of balance. So they go down both, and I slash from above, and he tries to roll out of the way, but he can't. The Rusty's sword slashes his side, and he stops moving. Yeah, this should say we. Alright, okay. This is good. Except Tamara is... Why is she joining the party? Why is... so after the start of the thing is like, yeah, Tamara, if she wasn't killed, which she wasn't, right, I don't know why we have this here. There's some banter here. Yeah, we never actually remove her. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. All right. So Tamara is no more. So like here she's killed, so we don't want to remove her. But here we're like custom coding. And that's probably gonna be something along the lines of update actor by ID, Tamara ID. Hello, garbage truck. And that would be is active. B is active equals false, which basically just like removes her from play. Let's see. See, this is working. I just wanna go to compiled. Is active is false. It looks like it's all good. Let's try again. So we're like, yeah. Let me just cheat through this. I hope he didn't. Yeah, she just fell down. Okay, she's still alive. Good. So we kill. We leaves without ceremony. It wasn't okay. Good. Like there was no runtime error, which is always good. And then we can go to pyramid. We hire V's. We go west. Yeah, Tamara is nowhere to be found. Good. The goblin is unfooled and keeps his stance. He casts the spear at V. V stops. He stops the it. Oh. Right, we have some bug in object 2, I think. Bug. Right. Okay. But that's rendering bug. It bounces off the shield. Oh yeah, he has a shield. Yes, thank you. All right, I have. Yeah, I have a bad posture. Veer picks the spear up and wields it, replacing the dagger to his belt. He dodges the goblin's punch. Gonna slash the goblin's arm. I swing my rusty sword at the goblin's arm. The goblin tries to sidestep, but doesn't succeed. I slash his right arm and he screams in pain. V's thrusts the spear at the goblin's torso. The goblin tries to dodge, but V's is too quick for the goblin and impales his chest. The goblin collapses dead. Right. And now I can go and sneak around. This should say we sneak around. But anyway. This is pretty cool. I like it. So we have implemented. We're out of time. We have hey, thank you, iTunch. You probably wrote hi, Philip, maybe like an hour ago, and I'm sorry for that. So what did we do today? I spent a lot of time just thinking about stuff, so that was not super exciting, I guess, but it was really helpful for me because I almost started doing a lot of stuff that wouldn't be really needed, I think. I fixed the bug. That's exciting. And then there was the bug with the shield where we were we were not adding the shield to the shield thing. So that's good. And then yeah, thank you, Venthos. Thanks for watching. And then we just kind of added a new component to the actor, which should from now on include all the data that are needed for kind of NPC interaction. So like, can we hire them? Are they are they currently following someone, and so on? And so that's also good to have it like in a in a sub thing, and not there in on actor itself. And hopefully we could even, as I said before, like we could have NPC capability for an item if you wanted. Cool. So we did that, and then we created an an action that actually goes through all these things, and hires and lets us hire the actor. The actual hiring is just a one-step process, which we might not do in the future, or we might be like, is he actually like, does he actually want to be hired? You know, there could definitely be stuff like that. But it's a crude tool right now, but it's possible. It's now possible to say, hey, at some point we switch these from being not hireable to being hireable, and that's how it works now. And now we can have a whole narrative about like talking to these until something happens, and they're like, you know what, yes, I will join your party, and then you can go around with him. And then again, in the same vein, we can actually be saying like, hey, at some point we can manually remove these and say something about that. So I think that's a good one. Okay, well, thank everyone for watching. Hopefully it seems like we can get back to the weekly schedule, and I will have time to work on stuff. So the next time, don't worry, we're not going to be just like doing little stuff with NPCs, because hopefully, because this should probably be done by then. I would really like to work on this one, and that needs a little bit of thinking too. But hopefully, I will have the thinking time beforehand, which makes it possible for at least the player, and hopefully even the monsters, to just run, and that almost always makes it nicer. Like there's a added level of strategy when you can disengage, right? Yeah, so that is it. Thank you, Garbage Truck, for providing an apt and very opinionated sound effect. All right. Cheers and bye.